So password hacking and cracking is something that continues to evolve. A practice that may have been smart 5 years ago has morphed into something that a hacker easily attacks. If you have to use real words, become aware of the trends, whether it pertains to character substitution or common passwords. Absolutely do not reuse passwords across sites. Generate longer passwords of random characters unique to each site to create a password that is hard to crack, as well as eliminate the chance that a data compromise from one site will allow access to other sites. Consider use of two-factor authentication. Realize it is not an end-all solution, as some forms of two-factor have been hacked or more appropriately compromised as a result of social engineering. As schemes continue to evolve, two-factor authentications mature, consider moving on to other approaches as they become available, yet to be named. An example of thinking ahead of hackers, choosing strong passwords is a concern, but consider what you use for security questions and answers. These questions typically are used to initiate a password reset, but are also used as a second password of sorts in that when a system detects that you're signing on for the first time from a machine, like a new IP address, they'll ask you for the answer to your question. If you're like me, you have hundreds of online accounts. Some accounts you may use regularly enough that you could remember a complex password due to reuse. Trying to remember hundreds of complex password security questions would be impossible for most of us. Never mind trying to do it as you age like I am. So what can you do? Well, consider use of a password management tool. I know this violates one of the rules we've been taught in various training. Don't write down your password. I'm not suggesting you put them on a Post-it note around your desk. However, I am suggesting that keeping them so simple that they are easily remembered also makes them easily hacked. That's almost as bad as writing it down. How do you select a tool? Well, one of the bigger aspects to consider is whether you want a file-based solution or cloud-based. After that, select a tool from a reputable company and a software, obtain it from a reputable source such as the company website. Find one with good reviews and strong encryption techniques such as AES-256. There are pros and cons to file-based as well as cloud-based. File-based gives you some more opportunity to lock down the file and keep it away from other people's eyes and hack potential. Whereas a cloud-based solution, you've got your information in the cloud, it's off-site, you're kind of more prone to avoid disaster recovery situations like a serious issue with your home or equipment failures. They both have pluses and minuses. You just kind of have to assess and pick which one's best for you. So eWallet is a file-based password management tool offered by Ilium Software, which is currently based in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It is available for a variety of platforms, including Windows, Android, macOS, iOS. There's a one-time fee per license or device because you do need to buy it per operating system. It does use 256-bit AES encryption to encrypt the entire content of the wallet and is FIPS, Federal Information Processing Standard compliant. eWallet does offer a cloud synchronization option using services such as Dropbox. Some sort of synchronization is required if you want to share the wallet between your phone and desktop computer or with another person such as your spouse. While eWallet is a file-based solution, this synchronization configuration will provide some of the same off-site data protection as an online management tool will, though it will introduce the same risks of being hacked as well as the unique risk of conflict files being generated when the tool can't figure out which file is current. If you do share the file with others or across multiple devices of your own, try to agree on a single spot to consider the master from which you initiate updates. eWallet also offers a variety of organizational options and categories. They can be nested under each other, almost like you put cards in a file cabinet. You have flexibility to change field names and add field names as you need. And I found it useful for tracking serial numbers and software license codes and things like that. So from the list on the left, single-click a line item to view the card information. Note that the password is hidden in this view, but the other information is not. You can control the types of fields, and these other fields would be hidden here depending on the field type. Also note that when you mouse over the fields, you have the option to copy the field into your clipboard for easy paste into a website or application. Let's look at one of the cards in a little more detail. Using the MyBank online banking card, you can see options for system name, user ID, password, website URL, etc. In addition to the copy-paste options on the field shown on the previous slide, with AutoPass feature on, you can launch right into your web browser and in most cases have the user ID password information populated for you automatically. We'll talk about password generation on the next slide. Before we get there, I'd like to point out the Q1, Q2, Q3 fields in the details section. These represent security questions and answers that you are asked to set up on many sites. If you are using a password management tool, then it is very easy to use gibberish answers that are not as easy to be cracked via dictionary attack or other attacks, and it's even easier to use different answers on different sites, just like you were encouraged to do with your passwords. It takes a little bit of extra effort to do this, but imagine the dividend it could pay if you are the target of an attack. So with all that in mind, let's explore the generate password function of eWallet. At a basic level, you can set the password length, as well as choose the domain of characters, uppercase, lowercase, numbers, special characters, aka punctuation. I like that the punctuation characters used for the password is user configurable, as I have run into sites which require special characters, but with certain restrictions. The fact that the special characters are configurable also means that if a hacker knows you use eWallet, he or she doesn't necessarily know the domain of special characters, nor the password lengths you're working with. So it just adds that much more randomness to the situation. As I tend to do copy-paste for my passwords or use the AutoPass function, I have not used the memory aid option. If you do want to try to memorize passwords or otherwise have a desire to do more than just copy and paste, the memory aid section will offer a sentence based on the password or another way to pronounce the password to help you remember it. The dictionary option will base the password from the dictionary and prepend and append odd characters. This seems like it would generate something that would be easier to form a dictionary attack against, hence, it's from a dictionary. If you do want to use this option, I'd recommend also checking the worked box, which will further alter the word a bit, but leave it somewhat readable. Even at that, hackers are smart enough to create variances of dictionary words with special characters with substitutions, dollar signs for S's, asterisks for A's, and so forth. If you're using a password management tool, it would seem wise just to do a full randomization. We've covered the most meaningful aspects of eWallet at this point. Just a few more slides with some of the submenus. On the left are the options you have when right-clicking on a category from the tree view. On the right are some of the field types you can choose from when editing a card. On the card view slide, you can set up a field that the value is unless you're in edit mode. The hidden field types let you accomplish that. Lastly, these are the card type templates you can choose from. Password is the one I tend to use the most. I found bank account and serial number options nice too, especially if you are incorporating this into your personal or business disaster recovery plan. Having insurance information, serial numbers organized in one spot and electronically available can be very useful. Put a copy of this file along with the eWallet installation software and software key, make sure you guys have the key, on a USB drive and put it in your safe deposit box. Consider updating it once or twice a year like you do the batteries in your smoke alarm.